Well, look at the extremes in life casting, right? There are people who are, experiencing events, and that's interesting. And then there's the other extreme where you're trying to make something of your life by just, showing the whole thing. And I'd say there's a similar extremes in mind casting, right? You actually have an interesting thought, or you're trying to make something of a not very interesting thought, right? Like your sandwich, the flavor of your sandwich, or the way your cat's breath smells, or whatever. I mean, there are just, there's so many small moments in life that, maybe they don't seem interesting now, but maybe looking back on it, it's actually quite an interesting thought, and there's some things, I'd never try to prejudge a person's writing, out of context. So I try to find some way that I can legitimize whatever they're saying, because I honestly think once you start down the road of judging someone's ability to express themselves, then you get into some censorship issues, and I'd rather not even go there. Like I honestly think we can use more ways to express ourselves, and that would be fine. Well, look what happened in Iran, right? There were maybe 10 people, sending out text messages that ended up on Facebook or Twitter, and then, they were vulnerable. They're identifiable, but the world came to their aid and set their location to be Iran and kind of helped disguise them in the crowd. And I thought that was fast. People to this day still have green-colored icons and their location set to Iran, which is fascinating. And it's just an upwelling of support that seems only possible on Twitter. And it seems like it's an unstoppable force almost. It seems like it's going to penetrate the walls of society. It's going to jump barriers between the walls of power and the sort of populace. And you look at any leader of any country and ask yourself, are they actually writing their own Twitter stream, or are they having someone else do it? And the closer you get to a person actually writing their own tweets, the sort of more authentic, the more accessible that person seems to be. So just an example, I came from Dominican Republic yesterday, and I met the First Lady, and she does her own writing, and she's just about expressing her personality and leading by example. And I think we can all use more of that. Well, they do a good job in North Korea, I'm told, but they don't allow anything. That's the extreme. In the case of Iran, I think they tried really hard, and still information got out. So it seems irrepressible, but at the same time, the ways that it was getting out, they weren't actually tweets per se, but they fit inside a tweet, so you could retweet that, and you could easily resend that out over Twitter, which was some of the power. It wasn't that they had 10 people writing 1,000 messages a minute. It was that you had like 1 or 2 messages getting retweeted 1,000 trillion times or whatever. I mean, you can shut down one channel after another, and humans always find a way to communicate.